So today, I'm going to show you how to, whether you're representing a buyer or a seller, you're going to be able to pull up the contract, fill it out if you're putting in an offer, or fill out the listing contract if you're going for a listing appointment. And then whether you get an accepted contract if you're putting in an offer, or if you, once you put the listing on the market, you create that transaction in here, create the listing in here. Then from there, we're going to go over, while you're in escrow, you're going to receive things that you need for your checklist in order to get paid. And I'll show you how to do the compliance at the end, so make sure you guys get paid. You all set? Okay. Oh, David. Okay, I'm gonna get started. All right, so if you're looking on the handout, I'm gonna go through the handout as well as exactly on the screen as well. So the handout is basically screenshots of what I went through to create it. So say whether you're representing a buyer or a seller, you're gonna need a purchase contract or your listing agreement. I'm at the home page here. I'm gonna click on working documents. And if you have your laptops, I'll try to follow along. It'll be a lot easier. From here, you're gonna go, you click on the zip form plus. And for those of you that haven't been on it yet, it's probably asking you to put in your passwords to the phone. Are you guys connected already? Just like this? Okay, perfect. So let's do one. So say I have whatever client I have, you're going to click on create zip form plus transaction. From here, I'm going to put in a just so you can kind of name it transaction. So go ahead and create a transaction right now just so you can follow along. So once you create it, it's going to come to this page. So if you were representing a buyer, you're going to go in here and get your purchase contract. You're going to go ahead and get your as-is addendums in here, cooperating brokers agreement. Let's just do that. And at the bottom, you click add. It's going to show up here. And when you go back to add form, because those are just under the HER forms, you can click this drop down, and there's also High Central forms and our California Hulu. So you're going to need your standard addendum, whether on the buy side or the sell side. I'll add that in too. So here, you want to write the offer, you represent a buyer. If you're doing a listing, then you basically add the listing agreement, which is right here. So whether you're starting off as a represent buyer or seller, creating a transaction in zip forms, then you're getting to this page, adding in what you need, and then we're going to go to the purchase contract. Everybody following along so far? Uh-huh. Where are you at?
My documents disappeared.
So you created the transaction?
I was just choosing the documents.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where it was.
Oh, add form. There we go. Yeah. Anyone else?
So how do you add? You click on it and then what?
Yeah, when you click add form
Okay.
here, it will give you the options to add whatever you need for your contract that you're submitting. So that's where, and here is where I click the purchase contract, I click the as is addendum, I click the cooperating brokers agreement, just as examples for this. But you can find everything in there that you need to submit an offer or listing. Yes.
Where did you guys go for the additional standard again?
Oh, so when you click add form here, there's a drop down in here, so it has other.
Oh.
So it has a Keller Williams addendum, standard addendum, representation of the seller. These are affiliated business arrangement disclosures. The highest central HBR ones are for when you have a listing. And then you fill this out for single family, condos, depends on what kind of listing you have.
Is there a way to add an external document that's not in there?
Which like
Just, I don't know, anything that's not necessarily in the CAN KW or the CAN zip forms.
you could, because eventually after you have all these here, you're gonna print them all out when you first create it. Print it all out, and whoever your broker, signing broker is, they're gonna go ahead and review it. So you could add in those forms then, and then upload it back in, or download it back in after they sign off on it. Or if they say just to send it over via Skyslope, you'll get signatures from them, and I'll show you how to do the signatures after this. So we'll go back to here, purchase contract. Everyone on here? Close this. So, submitting an offer, you have all the information you're going to fill out. You know, I've only put in the address so far, but whatever you fill out here, it's already going to transfer to all the other addendums. So you don't have to refill it. I'm representing a couple things. Buyer. So this is the whole contract. So after this, I'm going to just put, you fill out everything, you're done. You're going to go preview, save PDF. And then I'm going to go ahead and print this because I want to get everything scanned to my broker to review later. But like I said before, once you fill out the purchase contract, you look at the as is here. It's already filled out with the address. If you fill out anything else in the purchase contract, it would all fill here as well. Seller's names, buyer's names. So I'm just gonna go with this again. So say you printed it out, or you could just save it on your desktop, which I'm gonna do right now, so I can move on to the next section. Everyone following along so far? Okay, good. So you sent the contract to your broker. They said, okay, good, it's ready to go. No mistakes, hopefully. And now you need signatures. So, save it here. You could just get it directly. So if you print it all out and you put it together, then I would go back to the original homepage. I would click on working documents because I just downloaded the purchase contract to my desktop in order to. So from working documents, now we're going to get signatures.
Am I getting this right? You will save to your desktop and then you will reload it back into the system?
Well, I went basically with all that being separate. At the purchase contract, you add the addendum, cooperating brokers agreement. I would normally print out everything and then I put it to one PDF and I send it to my broker to have her look over it. Then she says, okay, it looks good, send it on Skyslope. Then I would scan the whole thing back to me. That way it's on here. Or you could do it separately, but then if you do it separately, she's not gonna know. Do you have any questions?
No, it's just, it seems to be so much more work to, print it out, scan it back in, instead of using DocuSign where you just load it in and send it out.
Well, from here, if you want to just send it out, let's go back. Right? So now you have all these here. This is your file. How are you going to get your broker to look at it? Send it to DocuSign and they're going to say, you have all these mistakes, you got to fix it.
I don't think there are many mistakes, but if there are mistakes, I can easily correct them.
Okay. Let's do it that way. So here, here. Well, that's the way we're going to do it. Is going to save it to your desktop. So you print these out and you save it to your desktop, and then you're going to go ahead and PDF it to them because they're going to ask you to PDF it to them anyways to review it. And if they say it's okay, then all you have to do is send it via Skyslope to get signatures. So I printed it out. I sent it to my broker. She saw everything. She saw all the addendums. She wanted to see. They want to see the MLS. But if it's a listing, they want to see the whole information printout so they can double check your work. That's the reason I kind of print it out anyways, because you don't want to send back all the other information to your client for signatures. So from here, this is under working documents. I'm going to click upload document. Where's that purchase contract we saw earlier? Just to let you know, I did an offer in 30 minutes this morning. Just doing exactly this. So it's not, it doesn't take up too much time. So you upload it, you start upload, now it's here. Once you're in here, click that, click DigiSign.
So you don't physically print out?
I did earlier, so I basically I printed it out and then I had put it all together as one with the MLS sheet And then I sent it to my broker. And she looked at it, she was looking at the MLS, she was making sure all my information is correct. And she says, okay, this guy's slow. So then I'll scan it back without the MLS and without this extra stuff. Skyslope back, and then this is what I'm looking at, which I'm gonna click no property because I'm not in escrow yet. If you're doing signatures while you're in escrow, you can always just connect it back to one of your escrows. But I'm gonna click no property right now because we're not in escrow yet. So from here, you can click next. So now, you want to add your broker's name. So I want Joan to sign it. I'm going to put her in here. Here. Click as broker. Order, it says 1. I'm going to save this. I want her to sign first. And once she signs off on it, then I'm going to send it to my clients. So I'm going to click add signer. Now, just send it to, you can click yourself, but I'm going to send this to my assistant. She's the buyer. So now she's the buyer, purchase tenant. I'm going to put order 2. I'm going to click this too. If you have to sign something. So far, so good. So click next. This is getting signatures. So first top line. We'll put Joan's signature here. So with the signatures, you know, sometimes the initial boxes are too big. You can change the size of it. If I didn't want Joan's signature there, or you can drop down and whoever you had as signatures. Changes. We're gonna leave John on there though. You can, so now we go down to the bottom here, say we're representing buyer. Our buyer was Sandy, so I'm gonna click here. Make sure it says Sandy. And I'll click there. Adjust these boxes a little bit. And I need the date sign, so I'm gonna click date. You can also put in the date and time, writable stuff if you want to just write things in here. Oops. You can write anything. If you want to type things in to add verbiage to the contract, it can be stuff that I want for read only for your clients. But once you do it here, you're gonna move on to the whole contract, get all your, put everything in place. I'll put my signature just randomly because since I click myself, you have to have a signature somewhere. So now if you click send, it's going to ask for the subject. It's going to put test in offer. Send. Since I'm signing, it's going to ask me to sign now or sign later. I'll sign now. And this is exactly how your clients will see it. The signature, agree. Start. So you sent that out. Now, I click on DigiSign, and I see what's completed, and I can click Send, and I see that this offer was signed by me. Still waiting on Joan and Sandy to sign it. So if Joan signs it, it'll get sent to Sandy. So I could be waiting, and then text my client, call my client, ask them like, hey, just double checking you got the offer in there. I wanna make sure you sign it. You can also edit it here. So one time, I think I had the husband's email correct, and I had a typo in the wife's email, so I had to just redo her email and resend it. Following along so far? Okay. Now we should, that's basically creating, you want to do an offer, or you want to do a listing, and getting signatures from brokers and your clients. Then you go ahead and submit it later. Once everyone does sign it, you can be, so I'm waiting for their signatures, I can be out doing showings, and I'll get an email that says all parties signed. Click on it, view it, and from there I can just send it straight to the listing agent from my phone, from the email. Because on your email it'll show everyone signed it and send it over. So once you do send it out, you don't have to wait around for everyone to sign. You can just wait for the email to come through, and it'll be all set to go on the PDF. So, yes.
Some of my documents, like I added them in the order that you added them, purchase contract, standards, whatever. Somehow they're flipped, like purchase contract is up on top. Will that send in that order? Like right now I have cooperating broker first, and then standard and purchase contract third. And that happened when I hit save, like review, PDF save. And then I all that switch, and I can't figure out how to drag them. Is there like a way you can?
It won't matter. You're gonna have to, you'll probably print it out anyways, and then when you do, you can put in an order and just PDF it that. It'll be exact. Okay, so we're on a page that says how to create a listing. So I'm going to go back here. So you created the listing agreement in your working documents, you went on a listing appointment, and you got the listing. So now you're going to put it in here, you're going to click create listing. So it's not a real listing, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. It's not going to go ahead. We'll put up a real listing.
Can we put the listing that you just put, or
Yeah, you can put that listing actually.
what was it?
439 Keoniana Street. And it's unit 901. know what, I'm gonna go back, press the back button. I'm just gonna put switch to manual entry. There you go. Yep.
Is he supposed to ask for a listing documents next?
Yes. So if you're creating a listing, it's gonna ask for your listing contract and everything to be uploaded. Did everyone else pull up? So it's typing. Oh, yours? Okay. Forever. Jeez.
Because everybody else is using the same address.
I don't know. Shouldn't. All right. What's the code was there?
I think it's 1.5.
1.5. All right. Let's do it. Is everyone's one in there, or just his, and just appending with this? Because we're all, I mean, it is because we're all trying to create the same listing. Okay.
So does it matter if it's a real listing, just as long as it's a real address?
Yes. Let's just put in the address. So put in the address. Yeah. Okay. So I think he's logged into the correct one. I guess it's recognizing that we all kind of have the same listing, the same company. Not going to be creating a whole listing. So here you're going to go to listing documents. How much is the property listed for? It's going to ask you basic things. So if you can put in any address right now to get to this, just do that. Go ahead and create your listing.
Did you switch to manual?
I switched to manual. I just put in a different address because I think it recognized the actual listing that he got in, and then it wouldn't let us all have the same listing, the same company.
No, I'm trying another one that's the same thing. Change that. It's your buyer license. I'm working on another listing, but then I have to send it.
It won't go through.
Yeah.
Is it an actual listing?
Mhm.
Let me go back. Get her this real quick.
I switch.
Mhm. If you are past that, just keep filling out everything until you get to after this information. Correct. So like 5% off. Yeah. Let me switch to my image. He's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna pick up HTS. Or signal heights.
Yeah.
There we go. That's good. Yes. Let's go to create this thing.
This issue was, I think,
That was the issue with the MLS. They are working on that. To get this fixed. Right.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go back to here. Okay. Hopefully, no, it's not.
When I went back into the new address, I switched out of manual entry so that it could pull it up correctly. And then it went through.
She did that when she went back to the home page. But
Is it possible if I'm in the, right?
let's see here. You created the listing. Go back to. So now we're going to create this thing. Yeah. So we went to the signatures already. Now we're gonna do the listing agreement. Back to listing. And I'm gonna upload it. Yeah. Screen. I think it is not because everyone else. There we go. Okay. So let's move on to the next section where we're putting in your information. 6% listing commission, 2% on the buy side. It's asking you for all your listing, all the things that you had on your listing agreement that you had put in and got signatures for. Listing date, you put on the market. You get the listing signed and it's going on the market tomorrow. So it expires 1 year from now. It's asking for all your basic information, which will fill out everything later. So it's going to ask you to select the source of the deal. You get it from your sign, advertising, open house, if it's buyer, if you got your listing from buyers. I'm just going to put SOI.
You know why?
I'm going to put myself in this. That address is actually my parents' address. So you can add that there's more than one seller, you can add that in. I'm just going to put one seller for now. And then that's the basic information. You're going to check it. Address, list date, list expiration date, commissions, seller, and price. So, is everyone on this page now? Perfect. So, from here, there's only these documents. You need to fill in these things. MLS printout, your MLS data input forms, your Hawaii information printout for the listing, and the listing contract itself. So I'm just going to fill in stuff right now to turn the red into yellow, which would be pending. Look at the same form now. So now it turned from required to in review. Then I'm gonna get my. I only have this. It's not my actual desktop. I'm just put this in here. I just want to get to the next step. So to review. So once you've uploaded all your listing forms that you need, you want to follow along so far? So now I put in all my listing forms that I needed. It's all in review, they're all yellow. This is basically, this is it. It's gonna look like this. Now you created your listing, you're fine. So now you get offers in and you accepted a contract. You have a contract that you open escrow with. When you click accept the contract here, it'll take you to this. Now you have your MLS number. It's going to ask you a checklist type, which is the purchase documents. It's required to put in an MLS number, so listing sold. Source price, we got the price. Office lead. Everything in red needs to be filled out. See this red stars here? Have to fill that out in order to get to the next step. We're going to do a 2-week close. Acceptance date was listing on the 11th. So let's go to next. That's it. So it's going to ask you basic information. You have your sellers here. That's all filled out. Phone number. Buyer's first name. Takes a little while, but once you get everything in there, so closing, officer's first name. Let's go for key. Phone number. See that in movies all the time. Agent episode on this side. Cookbook company. Say it's a dual agency. So now put in all the information, submit. Commission info, you're gonna double check all these things. Double check everything. Yeah, looks good. Submit it. Oh. I didn't even see this. I would like an advance commission. It's a big commission. So you can check. I actually don't know what this is, but it's interesting. Let's go back to this. Okay, so once you click submit, everything's in there. You created a transaction because your listing got an offer, you opened escrow, and now your transaction is going to look like this. And your checklist is going to have all these things that you need to upload. Escrow instruction sheet, purchase contract, standard addendum. Everything in red needs to be in yellow before you submit it at the end of the transaction to get paid. You send it to Rob, our compliance officer, and there's still things in red, he won't even reply to you because he has so many transactions he has to review that it's too humbling to go back and forth. So all these reds need to be in yellow. Like final settlement, seller statement, or buyer statement. You don't get this to the end. Satisfaction waiver, you don't get this to the end either. So these throughout your transaction, you're getting things signed off like the M1, the condo docs. You're getting other things signed off. You'll upload it during the transaction so that at the very end, you only need to fill in these two things, final and satisfaction. However, it says M1 condominium subdivision document approval. Some single-family homes are in subdivisions where there are associations. A lot of them in Pearl City, White Kelly especially. Almost every single-family home around there is in the White Kelly Community Association. Middle Town, there's MTA. So it's there for single-family homes as well. But say you're in Kaimaki and there is no association, you still need to attach something here. So what I do is you're gonna attach now I'm just gonna pull up. So here I'm gonna attach you have to put something in there for it to turn yellow. So what I would do is I'll probably attach either the MLS or the page on the purchase contract where there's M1 on there. I'm just gonna put this in there again because I want to turn yellow. Here, upload. So now it says M1, it's in review. I'm gonna type in here no community so close community association. That way Rob knows when he looks at this, he knows I'm letting him know there's no community association, but I have to put that in there to make it turn yellow. So once everything is in yellow here, that means you closed. So you want to get paid. Everything's in yellow. All this red is not required anymore. Let's see here. But I skipped around just a little bit. Going back, so we're on this checklist here. So I'm going to go to documents. If you have an accepted contract, a lot of times you'll get it from the other agent as one PDF. You'll have a purchase contract, you'll have an as-is addendum, you'll have the property brokers, it'll be all stuck together. Over here, I'm going to upload it. I'm going to upload that same contract, but we have the option to split and assign it. So it's a lot easier than printing out and scanning it back separately. So I'm going to my documents in the same file. This purchase contract, I'm going to click this. Split. So it has 14 pages in there. If it was 22 pages, you'd go page 1 to 14 is the purchase contract. I'm just going to go page 1 to 6. And once you start typing in what you need, I'm going to purchase, it's going to come up. That. And then we'll go page 7 to 7. I'm going to go with existing. What's required? The M1. I'm just splitting up everything. So when you have it as one PDF, you're going to end up splitting everything as one. What else was there? That was KWH, standard addendum. Escrow section, escrow. What else is on there? Yes, I can. There's a co-op, and there's one more. This. Disclosure. Okay, so I used up all 14 pages. If you had like 22, you would separate it all as far as when you first got the contract as one PDF. You'll split and assign. Now let's go to the checklist to see. So on that, it's fairly quick. Now your checklist, most of it in there is in review. All of that one swoop, except for these. But you kind of get the drift. When you're in escrow, you're uploading these other things. But when you first initially open an escrow account, you're gonna have your purchase contract, you will have the MLS sheet, as is cooperative brokers agreement. So that's how you can split and assign it straight from your contract, because who wants to separate it manually and then scan it back, right? So from here, everyone following along so far? So if you can always go back to here at the handout and look for the split and assign thing. It's a little confusing right now because you don't have an actual contract to split and assign. Once you are ready, once you're ready, you're going to go to, I'm going to skip a couple of pages. That page says the Chrome web store. I'll teach you how to multi-forward at the very end. So now you have all these things are in yellow, and you want Rob to approve it. You're going to click on log here. And from log, you're going to go email. And as soon as you type in Rob's first name, his email is going to pop up. And I'm just going to tell him test for Skyslope class. Do not review. So he doesn't get mad at me later. But normally you put ready for review. And that's it. You just put ready for review. We send it to him. And it's good. Hopefully he won't reply because it's not all ready to go and get mad at me. But once you do that, You'll wait for an email from him, and he'll either say compliance approved, ready for check release, or he may say you're missing signatures here or missing this document. Then all you gotta do is go back into it. The ones that you're missing, upload it into the checklist, email him once again, and he'll just approve it. So now, see this email address right here, Street264@skyslope.com. That is specific to this file. So if you, all your email communication that you had with your other agent, with your client, if you're CCing this email, it would all be stored in here as your communication log. However, it's hard to CC this email address on every email communication you have with the other agent, escrow, your client. So what I do is, if you go on to Google and Google multi-forward. Everyone that has a KW email address should have Gmail because KW is under Gmail. So when you click on multi-forward, see this thing is called multi-forward for Gmail Chrome Web Store. It's really going to help out. So let's already add it to Chrome. So in your handout, click on multi-forward. It shows you where to go to get it. And once you add it to your Google Chrome, it'll always be there. It's already added. So let me show you how to add it. But once it's added to your, once it's added to your forms here, I'm just going to do a test one. Let's go just like under this close. So, okay, sure. So I'm in this file. Every email that I've had communication with, as far as the agent, clients, they're all in my file. I got 50 emails here, which is, it was basically a 3-week transaction. That's what it's showing. But even if you had 200 emails in here, you can click this right here, select, and this arrow will pop up. If you added that multi-forward to your Google Chrome, this arrow will pop up. Click multi-forward. It'll ask you to log in to authenticate. And then I gotta put in my password one more time. It goes on caps lock. So, okay, now we're ready to go. It's going to ask you to do that almost every time unless you're doing it within one session for several transactions, and it won't ask you again. So once you did that, you got 50 emails here. I click multi-forward. I'm going to go back to my Skyslope really quick. All I'm going to do is copy this email address here, paste it in here, and click multi-forward. take about maybe a minute. So it's going to forward every single email conversation I had as my communication log into my Skyslope transaction on Skyslope, and then that'll keep you compliant for yourself. It's not required by us to get your check, but for your safety, I would log all your communication. Anytime you speak to your clients, anytime you speak to your client about something, I always reiterate it through an email. Like just per conversation earlier, just a quick email. Takes a little while. You know, it's 50 emails, but in those 50 emails, there's so many attachments, so many different conversations that went on. How many megabytes of attachments? Oh, there we go. So now it just says message successfully forwarded. I'm going to go back and check it in Skyslope. Now when you look in log, refresh this. I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to go back to log here and refresh it. So now all my emails are now in here on one swoop. All 50.
That only works for Chrome. Is there anything for Firefox?
That's a good question. I don't know if you have Outlook. Outlook already has a multi-forward feature. But with Gmail, this is the one, I guess.
I mean, I can always log into Chrome and
Yeah.
then forward it and then.
So that's basically it. You learn how to pull up contracts, submit offers through zip forms. Once you open escrow, create a listing. If you're on the buy side, and you have your home page, so you're on the buy side, we did a create listing and we got into an accepted contract. If you're on the buy side, you know, you had submitted your offer, you got it accepted. Now you have the fully executed contract ready to go. You click on create transaction. And this will be this similar to what you did on create listing, as it will basically ask you for all the basic information again. Street address, filling out everything. You want to get to that point where you have the transaction where it shows the checklist. So ask your checklist type, purchase documents, same thing. Exact same thing, all the information. Any questions? For those of you that are using Skyslope, are you running into any problems?
That's actually the images that you have there, that you transfer out the emails to Skyslope. You create.
No, so each transaction has as soon as you create a transaction, you see here,
Or it gives it.
yeah, it does a specific one for that. So like this one, see, equal only place. So the one that I did was, it was going to be 10 minutes. So this one, it had this one. So when I did the multi-forward, I just copied this and I pasted it.
It assigns it on that.
Yes, per transaction, there's a specific email address. So I did the multi-forward because it was too hard to remind the other agent or the other agent's assistant or the escrow assistant to keep CCing this address. Or it's, nowadays, everyone has an assistant. Escrow office has an assistant. There's pretty much like 5 people on the email thread. It gets confusing to get more than escrow.
And you're emailing the other side of it.
No, I don't. What I do is I just any email I have, I create a file in my own Gmail here. So it's so much easier to keep in this file. Then I can just forward the whole thing at the end.
What about text messages?
Text messages, you can screenshot and email it to yourself. So like this one, for instance, I'm just gonna put this in my, since I'm teaching this class right now. These were when I signed it earlier. It came up to me as want to sign. Congratulations, I signed it. I'm gonna put this in my Skyslope folder. And I do it like that. This is an actual listing of mine, 439 Kelly Island. See the property. Yeah. Any other questions? Isabel, were you able to get in?
Yeah.
Oh. So after, like any other program, you keep using it, it'll get easier and easier, I guess. Just have to use it more often, adjust. And what I like about this one is, say that offer didn't get accepted. So I go to working documents, I go to test, I go to zip forms. The offer we put in for testing did not get accepted. I'm gonna go in here, I'm just gonna go purchase contract. I'm just gonna change the address. And everything else is kind of filled out already. That's once you create one. So you can use it over and over again until you get accepted. And once you do, then of course, you'll start over. You cannot delete anything from here or on here unless you go into zip forms and delete it. We're integrated and connected with zip form plus, but in order to actually delete anything from here, you got to go into zip forms outside of this.
Can you delete emails after you forwarded them?
In your log?
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question. Let me try to do that right now. I've never actually deleted a email. Let's see, close this one. No, I don't. Actually, delete it. Let's see. Log. So from here, you're saying if you wanted to delete one of these emails.
Yeah, that you just forwarded.
I don't think. No. I don't think I can delete it. There might be a way if I call that number. Let me see. I've never had to delete an email actually. But once I put it in there, it's at the very end.
Yeah, I have all my emails logged in Gmail, but some of them are very just personal, where I'm not necessarily going to upload them. So instead of having to select individual emails, forwarding them, I'm going to file forward and then maybe go through and delete one or two.
Oh, I would say when you click multi-forward, when you click on all the emails, select all. For instance,
So do you forward them as individual emails or as
yeah, so I'll go like this and I go, I don't want Raul's in there. I'll just do that. And then I'll go multi-forward.
So what do you do with, like, for me, I didn't do it this way. I had originated listings in zip forms.
Mhm.
But now I want to get it into Skyslope. Now what?
So I would go straight to create listing. And you're gonna have to type in all the information. But you have the listing already signed, right? Then when you get to that one point, you're just gonna upload it and it's gonna sign it.
So I'm actually creating another transaction in Skyslope.
Curve.
Even though it's even though it's already in zip forms. I can't just
Oh no, if it's already in zip forms, you can.
look for something in zip forms and just bring it all in.
Yes, you can actually. If you create it in zip forms, you go working documents here. When you click this, it should be here. If you create it in zip forms, it'll be here.
Yeah, okay, and it is. I see it, it is. But how do I get to that other page where you did the checklist and all that? I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Oh, so you see it. It's from here when you go create listing again. You gotta go create listing.
So I do have to actually build
Yes.
this in Skyslope. And does it merge from zip forms, everything that's there merge into?
You can pull up the PDF of the forms, the listing agreements, but not the information. This is different.
Okay, so if you don't start it in Skyslope, it's very cumbersome to bring it in.
You just gotta put in the information again. It didn't start in Skyslope. So for now, I don't even start anything outside of Skyslope. I do everything within,
Yeah.
so that it's just always in here. From here, if you ever say you had a closing date on there and all of a sudden you did an extension, but you didn't let Skyslope know, you can always access your archives. Let me show everything closings. Yes.
Personally, like in this one, so I can copy like the transaction, everything you'll see is in that column,
Mhm.
offer, everything is going to be much different, so we need to change things and other things, but can you copy like, this one, like one?
Yeah, so like if you had for one client, and you're trying to,
There's different clients, so, but say, you know, how much solid runs, most things are the same,
oh, I see what you mean, but in the same building, you're trying to offer it.
or even if it's different.
You could just change the difference from the whatever you had. So I had this here, I changed the address. We didn't get accepted, we put in another offer on a different property. Get to the seller's names.
So this is like a totally different client.
Mhm. Well, this is under the same one, but I'm going to just, if you're using a different client for the same property,
Oh, no, like, you see, just different, completely different client.
probably different client.
And then it's a form that kind of just copy the transaction. A lot of things in the same, like, that just
Oh, I see what you mean.
change, where I'm gonna change.
You could do that. Yeah. Because same here.
Oh.
Similar situation. It's just that these that are in here, they're not signed. Yeah, nothing signed even from before. Like,
Okay, so just something like that.
yeah. So here's one. It's all in here, all not signed. This is where you just created. Like I said, you're printed out to Joe and sign in. So closed months ago. And then, so you could just have one, keep changing from here because you're printing it out and going back into the transaction. Cool. Any other questions? Good. Oh, that concludes it. Hopefully you guys got that number on the handout. I think we're gonna be teaching this once every couple months, but I would say practice with it. You know, you get an MLS, do a mock offer. Print out the MLS and just do an offer in here. Send it to yourself for signatures. You can see what your buyers are seeing when they receive an offer. And then you'll see on the back end when they sign in or when it's pending. Let's see if I go to DigiSign. I'm gonna avoid this because so we sent one. See, my sister did not sign it and Joan did not sign it. I'm gonna go ahead and just avoid this thing. Get it off there. This one is like a thick one. Yeah, so